Speaking of ships, the Solano County Board of Supervisors last night voted to at the last minute on California Forever to make it easier for a shipyard or manufacturer to come here and develop. What's your reaction to that, and will you continue pursuing that?
Well, the regional plan we just put out was all about economic development, jump-starting shipbuilding, jump-starting so the reindustrialization of one of the most iconic industrial parts of California and our country. Solano County is struggling vis-a-vis other counties in the state. It's the highest unemployment rate of the 9 counties. And we have an opportunity to make investments in housing and infrastructure, create jobs, opportunities, middle-class jobs. I think that's a healthy thing. They didn't deny it, the Board of Supervisors. They delayed it. But delay can be denial in the context of the competitive landscape that's out there. You saw that with sardonic. And time matters. And I think that's why there was an effort. You could talk to representatives here, and they could tell you more, to see if they can create some certainty, which is the issue in California. It's not about bypassing process. It's about limiting process so it's not abused. It's what the SECA reforms are about. It's what the larger efforts in terms of addressing the issue of the paralysis and just the frustration and navigation, this jungle gym, not even a ladder of permitting that exists and persists in so many categories of economic development in the state. So I think I think the board will ultimately embrace the tenets of that project, and particularly the question that they were posed with. I can't imagine they're not going to be supportive.
Confirm the legislative deadline being August 31st. You're not going to try to pursue that act.
Well, this just happened. I haven't even had a chance to process it with the team.
So that's not yes or no?
Well, there's no such thing. I'm not accepting a binary, because there's yes, no, and maybe. Because we have to see. This just happened last night. I'm here with you this morning. I'm going to Sacramento after this. I'll be meeting with the team on, I think, 3 or 4 dozen bills. A lot of things that you never ask about that we're working on, and things you do ask about we're working on. And so we'll work through that, and we'll assess.
Governor, at this point, though, do you support California Forever's proposed industrial plans in Solano County?
Well, I thought the question the board was asked, I would have voted for that in a nanosecond. I don't understand it.
Yeah, they said it was rushed.
Well, continue to do what you've done, you'll get what you got. Things are changing. I think look, I've been saying this. I have my sell-by date. I'm not offering any advice. It's running out the clock here. We got to step up our game in this state. We got to step up our game. You want to compete. The world we invented is competing against us, and it's tough out there. I mean, we're blessed. $366 billion investment last year, but don't put your feet up on, Jay. You got to invest in your lead. You got to lean in. That investment wasn't made because the permitting process here is so effective. It was made for different reasons. Imagine if we can address the permitting issues and the uncertainty issues with the kind of level of capital people want to invest in the state. Sky's the limit. We'll be the second or first largest. I mean, eat your heart out, the United States. I mean, we're not even close to what we're capable of becoming. And I think this is indicative of that. And a lot of things, that just years and years, and it's just paralysis by analysis. And then it's just, this notion of grievance and victimization that somehow I wasn't included in, even though something's been out there for years and years and years. Well, lead. People are struggling. People are suffering. This community, a lot of people are left behind. They want jobs. They want economic opportunity. They want good jobs. They want union jobs. While the unions are supporting this project. They want housing. We need more housing in the state. Everyone's got to do their part. And so, it's easy to punt something. But there's going to be some reckoning. You lost a refinery here. You lost a brewery here. You lost a dry dock here. Jelly Belly you lost. I mean, this is my commute. And I've watched it the last couple of years. So I don't want to, I'm not attaching myself to any specific proposals. I'm attaching myself directionally. And it's very consistent with everything I've been promoting and delivering the last few years with the legislature. And I'm just hopeful on this and many other projects so we can really start to focus on the key question of time to delivering answers, and ultimately projects.
Governor, on the same note with California Forever, has your office had conversations with them about supporting their efforts in Collinsville?
This is what we do. This is why I have I have 2 agencies. That's all they do. It's literally workforce and economic development. So that's of course we have for years and years.
But I asked because GoBiz was disappointed, it seemed in a memo, that the Saronic bid obviously didn't want to.
Well, that was, I mean, I was engaging with them directly as well. Look, that was a combination of factors. It was a massive subsidy. I mean, that's a race to the bottom in Texas. They're not even, I mentioned the $366 billion investment. You might be curious what the number 2 state was and what the investment was. So $366 billion in California last year. $27 billion was the number 2 state, and that was New York. It wasn't even Texas. What Texas does, they don't do startups. See, we're inventing this world. Future happens here first. They just try to compete for the expansion of that increment, and then they write a huge check to subsidize it, just as he's done all those damn data centers, and then he learns regretting that a little bit. So that's their economic strategy. Ours is a little different. We have conveyor belts for talent like Cal Poly. We have 18% of the world's R&D. We have a formula for success. It's by design, not by chance. So it's a different approach. But the time issue was legit for sardonic, but also this massive subsidy. And they needed to know. So to me, it's not the only reason, but it's reinforces my point, and it may a little bit more here.
What do you feel though? Feel they're being run over by people like California Forever in terms of data centers.
Was it a data center proposal? I don't know. It wasn't.
People are worried about it.
Well, come on. Process. Local. What is? I mean, you guys, you're gonna have to get a new bingo card for Becerra, but localism's determinative is sort of one of the golden oldies. You guys will, I mean, come on. So I mean, I get that, but I'm also just this sort of just inability for local government to get out of its own way too is infuriating. And I say that as a former mayor of San Francisco, former county supervisor with legendary NIMBYism. That sort of marked so much of the challenges the state faces. It's, and so we've been trying to roll some of that and just more transparency, more accountability. But yeah, we support localism. We support local decision making. So what I say to that is exactly what I just said to you. I support localism. I support that. But this framework is a well-established framework. I don't think it was a big ask that was being asked of the Board of Supervisors, nor do I think they thought it was either. They delayed it. They didn't deny it. And I think it's inevitable they'll ultimately embrace it.
Mr. Governor, 2 things. Thanks for taking the time. I interviewed your wife 3 years ago when you helped launch the Dolly Parton Library in California. Can you just share first what she meant to you? Number 2, with Attorney General Rob Bonta just before this, as he announced a new lawsuit against President Donald Trump on the mail-in ballot matter. Can you just provide some comment on that?
Well, I've made this crystal clear. Donald Trump knows he's going to lose the election. The only way he has any chance is to rig it and to steal it. And we don't need a history lesson to be reminded of what he did after January 6th. He tried to light democracy on fire. He tried to steal the election. He tried to do the same thing when he called Greg Abbott and saying he's entitled to 5 seats in a mid-decade redistricting. He's been trying to do that consistently to our state for months and months and to other states across the country as it relates to accessing voter rolls. He's been doing that in terms of intimidation tactics, including putting board tack teams down there at Dodger Stadium on the day of the election last November in order to intimidate diverse communities from coming out and voting. He tried to do that by sending out DOJ monitors saying the election's rigged. He tried to do that by going to the court by actually asserting the election was rigged. And thank God the court didn't take that case. These guys are not screwing around. He's ruthless. Just about 2026. It's also about 2028. So absolutely, we need to litigate, and we also need to prepare, and that's why we have tens of millions of dollars in the budget to support county officials, and that's why we also have strategies to have to require a higher level of accountability, felony, for people that interfere in elections. And we're working with the legislature, many of the bills we're working on. We'll be discussing this afternoon to see where we land on those as well. So combination of all those factors that need to be leaned in. And as it relates to Dolly Parton, what I love is the punditry. That I love that everyone loved her. I loved it. Everyone loved her for all the right reasons. That she was other people oriented. I think the biggest thing that defined her spirit was that she grew taller because she lifted other people up. And I think that's a life worth emulating. It's a life worth living. And in a world where it's so reductive, it's so short term, it's so extractive, getting mine, what a contrast to what's going on in Washington, D.C., and what a contrast for our children to look to someone like Dolly Parton for inspiration.
Governor, Senate Democrats yesterday released their proposal on wildfire accountability and utility. There's a direct contrast to your proposal. They want to continue subrogation for insurance companies, whereas your proposal said you would want to stop
Let's
it.
keep those insurance companies, keeping them ahead of the victims. I don't. They do. I mean, if you're with the insurance companies and you think they should be paid before victims, okay. I mean, that's a point of view. I'm not going to defend that. If you think hedge funds should get paid before victims, you can defend that. I'm not going to defend that. If you think billboard lawyers should get paid before victims, you can defend that, and I'm not going to defend that. So our proposal doesn't do any of those things. They may have a different point of view. Insurance industry is going to do everything to make sure they get paid first, to make sure through subrogation claims they get theirs. Hedge funds want to get theirs. Billboard lawyers want to get theirs. And then they'll prop the victims up and they'll say it was always about the victims. Was it? Our proposal is about the victims first and about accountability for CEOs. No bonuses if you have a major safety violation. And if you continue to have safety violations, we need stepped up sanctions so that we can take over the utility. We also want to 10x the fines to shareholders who also should have skin in the game if they're not meeting those safety requirements. Again, or you could defend the status quo. And I assure you, I promise you, I don't think this, a lot of experience in this space, having done 2 wildfire funds. You are going to be here in a matter of months with a new administration and a new legislature, and they're going to have to make tough choices. This is not easy. You're going after major, powerful, entrenched special interests. This was out of a plan that we did together, an independent analysis, and I hope people read that analysis because it said the status quo is untenable in the short term and in the long term catastrophic potentially. And what that will mean is the victims even further behind chasing crumbs in bankruptcy court. And I'm just not going to leave without trying. And I'm not naive. I feel like Lombardi or something. Did you lose? No, we just ran out of time. I wish I had a few more months here. I got a few more months, but a few more at best with the legislature on this. I get how hard it is. And I talked to those same folks that were talking to me about those other bills you were referencing the other night. It's hard. And of course it's hard. The first 2 were hard. It's complicated. You have a lot of new members. What's subrogation mean? What is it? It's tough stuff. It takes years to even understand the language of this. And so at least I think we're making progress, and we have some ideas, additional ideas. We're creative. It's part of my day today, tomorrow, and my Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And we're gonna, we're lean forward. I'm confident we're gonna make progress. I want to just keep leaning forward.
But where does the three-party deal lay with the legislature ending next Monday, the session ending next Monday? Where does the three-party deal stand?
Exactly.
When are we getting bill language,
I know. This is the question we want to know.
So you're still determined to not hand over next to the next governor?
I'm going to try to clean up as much of it as I can.
Would you call a special session if it doesn't come together?
And I'll answer that as much as I can. It's the art of possible. I'm actually might be an expert in this. You've never heard me say that about it much. I have a little experience in this subject matter, so I also understand the limits. I understand reality, but we're gonna clean up some of it, and I'd like to, and we're gonna create a pathway where they can quickly do what I think inevitably will need to be done. And to the extent there's a special session. I'm sure Lori wants she would love a special session. But do the people's work. So I don't. No, it's the we'll see how life unfolds. There's a lot of time between now and that 72-hour rule. It's 4 more months to the end of the year. Yeah, all right. So.
But can we get you to respond though? Because I mean, just in fairness to give you an opportunity to say how you feel about this. The coalition against what you're proposing.
Yeah.
They're pointing to your relationship with
utilities. How about the support I've gotten from the people I'm opposing? Probably 3x more. I imagine they're admitting that, aren't they? Ask Rex how much those guys have supported. How much the trial attorneys? Come on. I mean, that's not how you guys know me well enough. Know how I operate. I've been at this and this topic in particular.